morning, inmates.
Lazy boy. Long live the lazy.
Wake and bake.
Richest men in the US doubled their money over
Wake
the course
and
of the pandemic,
bake.
giving them 6 times more wealth than the poorest 3 billion people in the entire world. Some of that profit was from inflation. A lot more, though, was from what amounts to price capture.
Butter's not awake yet.
Pretty much any company that raised their prices
I don't know why I'm awake. It's a little cold in here. 1 degrees.
It's just yet more evidence of the massive levels of inequality in modern society. But it also shouldn't really be anything new if you've been paying attention. While this was a massive transfer of wealth, it still falls far behind what's coming.
Shout out to Moon.
When a different kind of financial inequality in society.
Fucking 83,000 views in 10 hours. I'm not the only one.
It's pretty natural for older people to be richer than young people. They've simply had more time. That means they've been able to work more hours, earn more money, get inheritance, and get better jobs. And on top of that, they've also had much more time to invest their earnings and see their wealth grow over time. This is all natural and expected. While the economic statistics don't go back far enough, it's pretty safe to assume this has generally been true for thousands of years. But it doesn't explain why older generations were almost unnaturally richer than younger ones. When you look at the data, every generation...
My guy Moon said the biggest wealth transfer in history is about to happen in the next 20 years. The boomers are gonna die.
People born in the 1960s, for example, were poorer on average than those who were the same age but born in the 1950s. It's gotten even worse for each subsequent generation. People born in the 1980s in the USA are represented by the small line in the bottom right of the graph, and they're already off to a rocky start. Even this early on in their careers, they're poorer on average than people just 10 years older than them. At this point, it all looks pretty bad, so what's actually causing this? Well, there's a few different explanations that have been thrown around for why this has happened. First, there's what we can call the avocado toast theory. The general idea is that each successive generation puts more focus on consumption and fleeting pleasure. Through this logic, young people are spending more of their money on things which aren't worth anything later on in life, like holidays or overpriced coffee. Of course, this doesn't really hold up as a solid answer as to why people are getting poorer. Surveys of millennials, for example, show they're not spending more money than other generations do on impractical purchases. Instead, they're spending proportionally more on things like rent, food, and electricity. Leads us into our second attempt at an explanation, one which hinges on prosperity and recession. Just look at the economic environments that people born in the 1950s lived through. Except for a few minor bumps, most of their working lives were spent in an age of prosperity and unrestricted growth. Wage and asset prices steadily increased, meaning people could invest more money into their future, and those investments quickly gained lots of value. It fits in with the picture of a blue-collar worker being able to buy a 4-bedroom house for their young family. Then that house easily increases in value by over 1,000%. Meanwhile, people born after them have been dealt a worse hand. Growth has tapered off, which along with 2 recessions within a decade of each other, destroyed young people's chances at a life as plentiful as their parents enjoyed. While this picture might seem more accurate, it's also definitely more depressing. But there is a third explanation as to why older generations seem so much better than younger people do. An explanation that leaves at least some room for hope. People born in the 40s and 50s were the healthiest generation the world has ever seen, at least comparatively. In lots of the developed world, they could enjoy plentiful food and a diverse diet. Combine that with today's modern medicine, and this will easily be the longest lived generation ever, which also means they've held on to their money for a longer time, especially compared to previous generations who died younger on average and passed on their wealth earlier on. Meanwhile, each younger generation spends more time in education and enters the workforce at a later date. Then they have to wait longer for their inheritance, and it goes towards explaining why each generation might be worse off. But it's this third explanation that brings us onto the idea of the great wealth transfer. $84 trillion that are gonna fall into younger people's hands. In lots of people's minds, this would be the jumpstart that our stagnant economy needs to give people hope again.
Wow.
That will supposedly even out the inequality that's come from the 2008 recession and COVID. At least that's the optimistic version. However, the question remains, though, is this
the
actually
heat
going
must
to
have
happen?
worked. How's everybody doing today? What is it, hump day? I'm gonna hump the shit out of this weed.
But there is one way through.
Shut the fuck up, commercials.
However, they'll be passing on to a generation that's already lived through multiple recessions and financial crises, who have seen just how quickly something like a 401k can lose double digits overnight. So an entirely new generation of wealth will be going about things a bit differently than their parents.
My crypto's at,
The 2024 Bank of America study
I looked last night, it was like 70 something
Americans
cents. I bought it at 33.
looking to diversify into
Doubled.
as part of their overall portfolio strategy. Luckily
A
for
gambling
them,
man would double it and get the fuck out of there. I'm going for quadruples.
There are investing platforms
Maybe more.
distributed back a total of $60 million in investor proceeds across 23 exits. Right
I'll
now,
pull it
Light
if it
Price
hits
is another market
$1,000
demonstrating
instead of
a
one.
rare entry opportunity, and even still, Masterworks posted another profitable return from selling a Basquiat painting for $8 million recently.
Oh.
Masterworks handles all of
Do you,
the
do you like Basquiat?
litigation, acquisition,
That was
and
Madonna's
storage.
boyfriend.
All you do is invest in a piece of
He's a
artwork,
heroin junkie.
and once the painting is sold, potential net proceeds from the sale get distributed to the investors. And as a Moon viewer, you can start investing right away by using the QR code on the screen or by going to masterworks.app/.
Buy some
And it's important
Masterworks.
to note that past sales and previous offerings are not indicative
I don't
of future
know.
results. Investing always involves risk. And go to
No one ever bought it, my
masterworks.com/.
Masterworks.
To answer that problem, we
But
need
I'm
to
not
look at
dead
how that $84
from
billion
heroin
is actually
yet.
distributed and who actually owns it. This chart shows us the general distribution of wealth across generations in the US.
Man, I'm almost high. This is good. Purple Cuvée number 1. I got purple Cuvée number 1 on deck. And this is the fucking snail plant or the slug plant. I don't know what you call it. It's just another purple Cuvée. But this one is fucking fire. We're gonna smoke more of that today. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you guys get up to something great. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
Nearly 2/3 of the wealth in the US is owned by people born before 1964. Even the youngest people in this age group will be 80 years old in 2 decades' time. By that